We know that there are a lot of bad Brock Purdy takes, but this one might take the cake as the biggest overreaction to a performance by Brock Purdy ever. It is Rich Eisen. He does a podcast with one of his co-hosts, and his co-host poses this question that is absolutely unbelievable regarding Sam Darnold and Brock, and which quarterback should the 49ers have let go to Minnesota, and that they let the wrong one go. Whew. You know it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see your reactions to this one. I got some reactions after it as well, but take a look at this video from our friends at the Rich Eisen podcast.
I said after week one, they should be number one in everybody's power rankings. That was such an impressive win to start the year against the Jets. Now they go into Minnesota and lose. Quarterback play from Brock Purdy has not been impressive. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold, oh, baby, MVP Sam is back. The 49ers let the wrong quarterback walk to Minnesota.
So stupid. I mean, the dumbest thing you've said.
You don't think Sam Darnold could do everything that Brock Purdy, that everyone thinks Brock Purdy does? Sam Darnold, high draft pick pedigree. Where was he in the draft? Where was Brock Purdy drafted?
Okay, last.
So you would go to reason by that Sam has infinite more talent than Brock Purdy. And you see what Brock Purdy does? Lead him to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Is an MVP finalist. Sam Darnold could do the exact same thing with the Niners. They should have kept him instead. Let Brock go to Minnesota.
I've never seen Gallagher in concert. May he rest in peace. He's a comedian who would smash stuff, and people would wear ponchos, for splatterproof. I kind of feel like what you just did is even better performance artistry than Gallagher. That was really good, man.
Thank you.
Because there's no way on this planet you could actually believe that they should have let Brock Purdy go to Minnesota after last season and kept Sam Darnold.
Correct me if has Brock Purdy, did they win the Super Bowl that I'm missing?
You mean,
did they win that?
No.
Did they win that game?
They lost the Super Bowl.
Oh, they lost
but not because of Brock Purdy's lack of performing.
Did he make a play to win that game? I really forget.
Well, he could have made a play to win that game if Chris Jones didn't burst through on that third down.
Do you think Sam Darnold is
Jawan Jennings almost won the MVP and somebody had to deliver the ball to him?
If I gave you the blind taste test, which quarterback would you pick for stats? You'd pick Sam Darnold 10 out of 10.
For stats.
10 out of 10. Do you think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy? Is he more talented and has better skills? Sam Darnold is 5th in passer rating.
Oh, gosh.
Through 2 weeks. He's 2nd in touchdown passes and 3rd in yards per attempt.
Great. Bottom line is there are still 17 regular season games.
Last time I checked.
Brock Purdy played the 17 regular season games last year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And he was a top 5 MVP candidate.
He was.
And actually performed very well in the playoffs to the point where I think we should remove that whole questionable tag to his abilities. Say you're completely overreacting. But bravo, sir. This whole concept was like you smashing a watermelon with a mallet. I just need to have some splash-proof garb on to keep it from splattering all over what I think is a very nice shirt.
Real nice.
Thank you.
It's a good shade of blue. Let the wrong quarterback walk to Minnesota.
You're ridiculous.
So actually, Rich sent me a collab invite for this on Instagram. I accepted it, and the comments are just about as good as you would expect. And I would imagine the comments are going to be really good under this video as well. But of course, they do their segment Overreaction Mondays where they present overreactions. And so obviously the two sides of the coin are, Sam Darnold outplaying Brock Purdy, and did the 49ers let the wrong quarterback go to Minnesota? Great segment, great topic for getting some conversation started and stirred up about, the Brock Purdy contingent, very strong, very loud, going to defend Brock. And with this game against Minnesota, I think over the last couple of days of just seeing all the discourse, it's just everything's over the top. At a certain point, football is simple, and at least simpler than kind of what everything's being described as. Everyone is so grandiose in their takes, like, oh, Brock played terrible, he should, or Brandon Ayuk can't get open, blah, blah, blah. It's just like the defense is trash, and to fire everyone. Like, I get it, it wasn't a good performance, but it wasn't a bad, it wasn't a a hugely disastrous performance. The outcome was disastrous, and there were disastrous plays, but it wasn't wall-to-wall disaster. And that's the problem when trying to have a conversation in today's world about football. Is there's so many small nuanced details that go into the hows and whys of how things happen, and there is or there should be room for a conversation to occur about those things. Everyone just wants to make these grand assumptions and grand judgments without the information. And when you go into the tape, honestly, this game really came down to one massive sequence, the one where it was third down. They were on like within the 10-yard line. Brock throws it to Kittle. Kittle makes the catch, but he makes the catch on the goal line and doesn't get possession until the 1 or 2 yard line. And that creates the fourth down. They go to Jawan. It gets tipped, isn't catched. And then we see the 97-yard reception for a touchdown to Justin Jefferson. That would have taken that game and would have made it 7-3 if they score there. Instead, it goes to 10-0. And it completely changes the complexion of the game. It completely changes the tone of the game. It changes the narrative of the game. Just that little sequence, just those 3 plays change the entire narrative of everything going on in that game. So again, like, this overreaction, I think, is hilarious. But again, this is the type of discourse that we currently have around football. Is everything is like, oh, well, Sam Darnold won. So did the San Francisco 49ers actually let the wrong quarterback go? Should they have actually shipped a guy who just almost beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl off to Minnesota for Sam Darnold, who played in one game for the 49ers last year in cleanup duty, facing off against the Rams and Carson Wentz? There was nothing that would indicate that that should have happened. It's, again, just, it's one of those takes. It's one of those, it's representative, I think, of the discourse around football. I think it's why it's hard to have football conversations now, especially when your team loses, because obviously everyone wants to assign blame and wants to understand why that happened. Well, if you truly want to understand, it takes understanding the game and understanding the small nuances. And sometimes, it's not even what the 49ers did. Sometimes the defense had a better game plan. Sometimes they had a better play, individual efforts. There's a ton of different things. And even when someone's pointing at one player like, oh, this guy's at fault here, he's not, because there's other instances that make up who's truly at fault. So to get off my soapbox, it's just, again, my whole goal of the channel obviously is we want to be entertaining. We want to, show some of the funny, lighter sides of football and reactions and all those types of things. But we also want to educate, and we also want to foster an environment where we can have those conversations. We can talk about plays that didn't work without losing our minds, without saying trade this guy, cut this guy, fire that guy. We can have conversations about plays and games that didn't work well without coming to the conclusion that this guy needs to be gone, he needs to be benched, this, that, and the other thing. He sucks, he's terrible, he's trash, he's all of that. Football is a difficult game, and it's impossible to be perfect at it, which means you're going to make mistakes. So how can we have a conversation without identifying the mistakes, but yet be so quick to judge and throw someone to the curb? I just want to make sure that what we're doing here, at least on this channel, is being able to have those conversations of, hey, it wasn't great here, but here's how they can improve, and here's how they get better. And we'll see if they make those adjustments from game to game and go from there. But obviously, I have a lot of thoughts. I've seen a lot of comments over the last couple days, but I'm curious. What do you guys think about that take? What do you think about my thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.